Our second and final day in Mumbai starts downtown, where each one of these fancy colonial apartments are million-dollar homes. And just steps away, we find a gigantic square stretching for several blocks, and right next door to the Bombay High Court, as well as the University of Mumbai. Next to the cricket players, hundreds of students and workers stream across the path, going about their morning business. Being near a university campus, there are of course many enterprising young people trying to start their own business. Like Samir here, we don't know how his massage business is doing, but I guess we can't blame him for trying. The university is home to some beautiful classic buildings, such as the Rajabai Clock Tower, which is not too far from the modern skyscrapers. Mumbai itself is kind of like New York. Everything has that historic feel. Even the old, generic, and decrepit buildings somehow look cool and interesting. Several blocks of walking later and we are right outside the Bombay Stock Exchange. The stock exchange itself is pretty boring, but we have intentionally come here around lunchtime to see something uniquely Mumbai. The Dabbawalas.
So we're just in front of the Bombay or Mumbai Stock Exchange, just around the corner, and you've just been watching the Dabbawalas, which is the food carriers. They pick up food from people's houses. So basically the wives cook in the morning the husband's lunches, and then these bicycle drivers come and pick them up house to house to house, and then come here. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon. And then the husbands come outside from the stock exchange, pick up their lunches, and they get a homemade lunch. And that happens every single day. And there's only a few hundred lunches here, but I think they probably get a few thousand during the day. And it's quite a sight.
Every day, almost 200,000 lunch boxes are delivered by 5,000 Dabbawalas, most of which are illiterate. But using a system of distinguishing marks and codes, they almost never make a mistake. After lunch, and with just a few hours left in the city, we take a leisurely stroll along the waterfront. Mumbai is surrounded by water, and the most picturesque stretch in downtown Mumbai is along Marine Drive. This would be our last look at the Arabian Sea. For the train ride, we grabbed some food from a nondescript restaurant near our hotel. It's not in the guidebooks, but the food there is so good, we just had to get some to go. Our next train trip departs from Bandra station, which is quite some distance from downtown, so we hop in a taxi for a ride through the many different neighborhoods. Out of the window, this building grabbed my eye, and I took a picture. Little did we know, this is actually a private home worth about $1 billion and the second most expensive home in the world. And just a few minutes later, the scenery outside the car is completely different. We did not expect to visit the slums, but in this city, what separates the most expensive homes from the poorest houses is not distance. The train is not here yet, so what did I do? I grabbed the camera and the locals simply swarmed me. It did feel a little sketchy at times, but everyone became friendly as soon as I showed them the photos. Out of the madness, I will always remember this little boy. He rode up on his bike, asked me for one photo. Before I could even show him the LCD screen, he already got on the bike and pedaled away. The act of having his photo taken was all he wanted. Sometimes having something is not as important as living it. And with that, the train is here, and we are off to our next city.